people, how many in here by raising hands gonna leave a legacy? We gonna leave a legacy. It's time for us to stop spending our money on all these unnecessary things that's not gonna leave a legacy. Your kids, you can't pass on your job. You can't pass on them name brand purses, the shoes. Now let me get something real clear. We all love those things. But make that money first. Let your money make money for you. Then you go buy those things. When we put those things before we make money, we need to change our mindset, okay? Can't put them first. Get the money first. You have, we'll give you an example about when I say leaving a legacy. You see me on Facebook all the time. If you come into a lump sum of money, you invest that money, let that money make money for you, grow on interest in investments, then go get your name brand stuff. But don't walk around with a $600 hairdo with $60 in the bank. Don't buy a name brand purse for $500 and got $5 in your purse. We're going to change the mindset because we're going to leave a what? Legacy. I love it. I love it. I love it. So today, I said we're going to just sit and we're going to talk about some real stuff, right? So if you're not here today to talk about some real stuff, can somebody show them the door? Because you're in the wrong place. And you know how they say what stays in Vegas, what goes on in Vegas stays on in Vegas? We have to learn how to let people feel confident to come share their stories with us. There's a lot of people out here that have committed suicide because we run our mouth so much when they confining us. We're going to change some things around here, right? So today we're going to have some good conversation with ladies only. The men not allowed unless you're working for me and you're getting a check. I like that, y'all. Y'all know women taking over entrepreneurship, right? Y'all know the women taking over in the business world. Did y'all know that? They say we taking over. So if you're not getting a check, me and get out. Whatever. I want to introduce a special guest. Shay Johnson, lover, hip-hop from Miami. Give her a hand.
Hello. How y'all doing today? That's good. Y'all ready to have a good conversation? I know I am.
We ready.
I'm ready.
Listen, let me tell y'all something. I was asked the question, how long you been doing this, Mary? I said 90 days, figuring it out with the team. Shay walked in here. She was like, whoa. We're only 90 days old. So I have to just thank God for that and the support that we're having. So we're going to start kicking this conversation off with some of the myths. I don't watch TV. I don't watch any of the reality shows. I get everything from my sister and my daughter-in-law, right? But what I did learn when I went to Miami, a lot of things that we feel and we judge, a lot of the ladies that's on the shows, they totally different. Like when I'm at Nene, I'm like, okay, I've heard so much. You just can't judge women by what you hear. That's a prime example. And my sister get here, she was a little nervous to go pick up Shay, right? Oh, she watch you, her and Lexus. Like they watch, right? She said, Mary, she was so nice. I said, what did you expect? But you know what I'm saying? But what I learned from Nene is that, did you guys know when they taping the show, editing is everything and they have no control over the edit? Is that
Absolutely.
true?
Absolutely.
I heard one lady was saying they asked her a question. She did not reply to the question the way it was showed and aired. Mm-hmm. So they took a clip from somewhere else saying, yeah, and that wasn't even what it's supposed to. So they go get clips from, they really do that shit?
They do. That's why I've kind of learned to watch what I say and how I say it. And if it's misconstrued, I'll go on social media because we have that platform nowadays, and I'll correct what I meant to say or what should have been showed. So it's okay. It doesn't bother me. You know, I make mistakes just like everybody else. Y'all made mistakes?
Yep.
You know, so I'm not perfect. There's no perfect individual out here. If it is, let me meet that person. So I'm judged all the time because I'm on television. But what people fail to realize is what's happening to me on an everyday basis is what's relatable to many women every day. And I'm just judged because your skeletons are not exposed, you know. And I just had to learn to not allow it to really bother me the way that it used to. Because when the first show I did was Flavor of Love. I don't know if you guys ever seen Flavor of Love.
But raise a hand who saw Flavor of Love. All right.
That's the first show I did, and that's when I first started to realize, because we had MySpace at that time, and I started to realize that people had this opinion on me and never met me, never had a conversation with me, but they were basing their opinions on my actions from an hour of a show.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, wow, if you just get to know me and have a conversation, yes, I have my bad moments just like anybody else, but I'm just as human as you are. So I'm just here to hopefully, you know, give my story, and hopefully you guys won't judge me in a negative way. I want to give you an insight on more of who I am.
And that's what we have to start doing, ladies.
Yeah.
So I was telling Shay, we will come up with a topic, and if anyone want to jump in, and do you have experience where you would judge and the person really didn't know you? I know I've had a lot where I was judged in a situation. A gentleman was at a party, and you know, I've always loved nice cars, and at that time I had a convertible Cadillac. And I pulls up to the party, and he said, the young lady said, look, I'm getting ready to go because that be here. She was like, who, Mary? Ooh. So he asked, he said, what did she do to you? Well, one of my friends said that she thinks she's something like this high school girl crazy stuff. That's what we hear today to say. Like, here we are in our 50s, I know I am. And they still, people don't like you for things that you did in high school or things they did to you. Let's do that. Like, I don't even know you, girl. Like, I don't even know who you are. You understand? So we have to stop doing that. Is anyone in the audience that have experience that would like to give us?
Well, my experience with that is that even every time a gentleman is near me or next to me or talking to me, I get judged like that's your man or something. I'm like, you're just my friend.
Right.
I communicate with them. I'm the same person every time you see me. So every time I speak, they tell me that.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know that it's a magnet. I don't know why they come sit next to me. I don't know who they are, and I don't know you.
Yes.
So I'm not trying to take your man. I don't do those types of things. But don't judge me on that. And another thing they judge me on is my appearance. If my facial expression is like, my daughter tells everybody, that's just her resting face. Yeah, she's not mean. They call me mean all the time, but I'm not mean. I'm a stern person.
Okay.
I believe in doing what I do.
Okay. Anyone else would like to share
I can
something?
actually add on that.
Yes.
Because I'm in the industry, people think that the men that I'm around, I'm dating them. They just assume I'm dating them. And they put me on this level of a whore, a slut. I've been called every negative word that you can think of. And a lot of times they're just my friends. And sometimes to me, people get dating misconstrued. When you're dating, in my eyes, you're not necessarily having sex with that person.
Right.
He could just be courting me to see if this is something that we need to continue to move forward with. So I've learned in the public eye to try to keep my personal private so I don't have so many misconceptions about me, and I don't have so many people conversating about my situation, especially when it comes to a love life, because a lot of times reality shows will break up marriages, break up friendships, families. Like, it will break up a lot of situations if you don't have that bond and it's not strong. So I've been in the same situation where I've been judged many times. It just doesn't bother me anymore at all. It doesn't bother me anymore. And then I've also been judged as far as when people look at my personality and they say that I'm the one to pop off, you know. So if somebody in your face like this, you gonna pop off too, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? So, but I've learned to walk away sometimes. Sometimes it's not worth it, and it's called growth. You know,
Yes.
I've grown. You know, back in the day when I was younger, I was a little more wild. I was.
Yes.
And I'm just like my mother, by the way. Hey, Mama. That's my brother. That's my brother, Dr. Joe Johnson over there. He's taping. But I'm very much like my mother. But I've learned that certain situations it's not worth addressing. Sometimes you can just walk away and let it go. It's not even worth taking your energy at all. But I'm still growing. I'm still learning because I can't take this. I still can't take that.
Still can't take that.
All that. I can't take that.
That is, all right, awesome. We're going to go to the next topic, angry black woman. I'm so sick of hearing that angry. I am angry now because you keep saying this, the S. So you know the angry black woman. Have you ever, give me your thoughts on that, Shay, because we can't do nothing. I know I talk with my hands and I might move my head a little bit. My mother used to knock the heck out of me about that head, you know. But we, just in expressing ourselves, we have came up with this, oh, you know, black women so angry. And white women could do the same thing, but they're not angry.
It's just a typical stereotype, but you don't have to believe it, and you don't have to agree with that, and you don't have to act on it and always have an opinion. Hey, everybody can have an opinion on me. It doesn't mean I have to agree with you, and I won't allow your opinion to affect who I am. I know who I am. So it's just one of many opinions that don't bother me. If you say that I'm an angry black woman, if you get to know me, I'll change that perspective immediately. I'm sure already during this minimum conversation we've had, you can see that I'm just as human as you are.
Can't
I'm not
y'all
the angry
see?
black woman. I am not her.
Now let's be honest. Anybody watched it on TV and was
Do
like,
you watch
"Look at
Love
that
and
B"?
Hip Hop?
Who watched Love and Hip Hop? Lexus, you used to say, "Look at that B" with Shay.
Oh,
I said, have anybody said, "Look at that B"? You was like, me. All right. Oh my God! I was like, Lord, let's go and pray for Lexus back there. Who watched besides Lexus?
I think she said you watch Love and Hip Hop? And she watched Love and Hip Hop back there. She watched it. You watched it too?
What was your favorite show?
I used to love Favorite Love.
Everybody watched Favorite Love.
I guess I'm the only one in the favorite love.
Yeah, that's like that's the GOAT of reality TV right there.
A few times with Buff, you know.
Yeah, I have. I've been to Detroit several times.
So the ones that watch, did you judge her in a different way? And you're sitting here, we're not saying, boy, she is okay.
No, because I know how I can be on the show. Like,
Okay, you understand.
This and the person or what? No.
Yeah. What about you?
What about you?
Did you have like a misconception about me before you got here? Really? See, I get that. I get that sometimes. I'm sure after this conversation, you'll have a whole different enlightenment on who I am.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I was nervous, too. The first time I text Shay, right, I'm like, oh, Lord. I text erased it. Did I put a comment in? Did I put a period? I'm like, it's not that serious, Mary. Listen, she texted me yesterday and did a kiss. I was like, yeah, she okay. She do kisses to people, right?
The emojis go a long way.
Right. I was like, Shay and I gonna be all right. When you did that kiss, I say I'm good now. I can wear my pajamas to the show. You know what I'm saying? So it did help me relax.
You know what it is? Okay, imagine this. We're filming now for season 3. And when you're filming about maybe 7-8 months, right? And you're only watching 14 episodes in all. Within the 14 episodes, it's an hour each episode, but within that hour, there's about 13 to 14 minutes of commercials. Keep in mind that this is not the Shay Johnson show. This is Love and Hip Hop, so it consists of many different characters. So you really only see me every episode, maybe a few minutes. Right. So an entire season, you might see maybe 15 minutes of Shay Johnson throughout the entire season, maybe half an hour tops. And you make your decision on who I am based off that minimum information on just what you saw. So if you break it down in that perspective, you really don't know me. You really don't know who I am. They just showed you a part of me, but there's an entire pie of Shay, and you've seen a slice. So let me try to give you a little bit more of that pie.
When you break it down like that, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, you don't see much of me.
And y'all judging folks on 10 minutes.
You did it too. She talking about...
She teaching us something. Y'all gonna learn today. Okay? That is awesome information. One more question about that. How did you even get started? And was it your dream or just fell in your lap?
When I was a little girl, we actually have video. My mom has video when I used to run around saying, I'm going to be a star. I don't know what I'm going to do, Mom, but I'm going to be a superstar. Right. I didn't know if I would sing, act. I didn't know what I would do. I damn for sure didn't know I would be on reality television. But when I first got on reality TV, I was living in Atlanta, Georgia. I was working for the state of Georgia, Department of Labor. At the time, I had a really great job, human resources, great benefits. And I was looking on Craigslist because at the time I was doing music videos. Craigslist. Yeah, Craigslist. But actually, I started below music videos.
Lexus, pull up Craigslist while we're on the show. Just check it out now while we're on the show. Yes, okay.
So when I first got in the game, I started off as a hypnotic girl. You remember the liquor hypnotic? Do you remember
yes.
that? I was a hypnotic girl, and I would just pour out drinks to everybody in the club, you know, the little blue drink. Then I became a flyer girl. I was passing out flyers in the middle of the street. Then I went to music videos. Didn't like that either. I didn't like none of these, by the way. So I didn't like that either. So I started working for the casting director in Atlanta. She was a top casting director that casted all of the females for all of the videos in Atlanta, Georgia. So it was cool. I liked working for her, but I'm like, this is not what I want to do. So I just so happened to be on Craigslist. Under Craigslist, there's a section called gigs. So they'll list like different castings and things that's going on in your area. And I seen something for Flavor of Love. If you would like to be on Flavor of Love, send us 5 sentences about yourself. So I'm like, okay, it's crazy people on Craigslist. It's killers,
Right.
murderers, but just in case you're not a murderer, let me go ahead and just figure this out. So I sent in 5 sentences while I was working at Department of Labor, and within an hour, by the time I was on my lunch break, production was calling me and say, hey, we're flying out next week to see you. Because I was angry at my manager at the time, so I was like, I'm a no-nonsense chick. I do what I want to do when I want to do it. You can't tell me what to do. You know, really, my anger was directed from a situation I had with my manager, but I'm like, wow, you helped me. Thank you. Thank you. So that next week they flew out, and I was the only one from Flavor of Love that got my contract right then, right there. They loved my personality so much, and the rest is history.
What?
The rest is history.
Now, they used to say when you mad, don't talk when you mad.
Yeah.
You know, because you might say something you didn't mean. Maybe we better flip that around. I'm going to start talking more I'm mad. And we're going to look at gigs, okay?
Yeah.
Craigslist gigs. Did y'all put that in your notes? Okay. Now,
Yeah.
this is a subject that a lot of you ladies might want to pretend it don't ever happen. Okay? I have so many of my friends in relationships, and they never have had an orgasm. They faking it all night long. I'm telling you, they faking it. Ladies, we have to start putting ourselves first. Right? And we have to let our men know if they not satisfying us and start walking around doing that ooh and ah and ain't nothing going on. So let's talk about that, ladies. Something you could never do.
I will not, if I don't have one, I'm going to let you know.
She said she's straightforward.
You straightforward. And you're not talking mad. That's the way it is.
I'm just going to let you know.
So, how many ladies want to be honest enough to tell me, have you ever been in a relationship or met a gentleman where he just didn't get it for you? Okay. Did y'all fake it?
Look at the camera lady. She's
No.
over there.
Did anyone have the nerves to tell the guy, like, this not working? You said, what are you doing? So I'm going to be transparent, and then I'm going to go to the audience. So you say, why did she pick that topic? Because I was one of those people. So I was married. I've been married twice. My first marriage, I was really into church then, really into church. I met a guy that was really into church. And I said, this is my soulmate, because he did not want to touch me unless I was his wife. And it's hard to find men that you date and you go to tell them you not having sex. It make them run quicker than anything you can ever imagine, because everybody wants that, right? When I met him, he said, I don't want to have sex until I'm married. I said, we're on the same page, brother. Well, I married that dude. And the first time, what you supposed when you get married, what they say, consummate your marriage? I said, what was that? You done. I was one never could fake it either, right? So I stayed in the marriage maybe about 14 months. My dad, that's my best friend. I could talk about anything. I go to my father before my mother. So I called my dad. I say, Daddy, this not working. My dad said marriage was wrong. I said, Dad, could you be in a marriage and you was not sexually satisfied? He said, I couldn't do it. So my dad says, whatever you do, do not cheat. Try to work it out. What's your biggest problem? He said, Mary, you know about Viagra? Tell them about some Viagra. Honey, I said, listen, we're going to have to go to the doctor together. He said, what's wrong with you? I said, no, what's wrong with you? Because we need some help. Viagra gave him a headache. We used that a couple of times, and then that wasn't happening. And I lasted about 18 months, and I said, I can't do this, not without cheating. And my dad told me, do not cheat. So I had to let it go because I was on the verge to cheating quick. I found that a lot of times we put everything first. everything. When we wake up in the morning, if you have children, it's the kids, it's work. Even when your kids are grown, I used to say, I can't wait till my kids get grown, then it's the grandkids. We have to start putting ourselves first, being honest, stop staying in relationships because the money is good, the sex is good. I hear women say, well, the sex is good. What? That's horrible because I can't pay bills with sex. So when you told anybody in the audience want to tell us, how did you, or Shay, have you ever experienced that?
Actually, I so happen to be dating someone. I'm dating, and this guy.
Dating?
We're dating.
Okay.
But he's not my man. I've made that clear. But we've had issues because he has a few conditions going on to where he has erectile dysfunction.
Okay.
I won't say his name. He's very embarrassed about it.
Okay.
And in bed, he does not last longer than a minute. It never goes to 2, ever. And I'm not over-exaggerating. Sometimes it's less than a minute. To where I became unattracted to him.
Yes.
And he's very much a nurturer. He takes care of me completely. I don't even have to ask for things. He's just a hopeless romantic. And I think it's like pros and cons about him, but out of all of the pros, that one issue is causing me to not want to stay in that situation. So before I leave, now he feels like he loves me. And I'm like, we can do the love thing, but I am not your woman. And the main reason is because I am not satisfied.
See?
So I want your opinion on what you think I should do. He takes care of everything. When I say everything, I never have to ask or worry about anything at all. Financially, he's good. But I can take care of myself. My mother raised me that way to where I'm in a position I don't need a man. You know, he's a provider, but should I stay in a situation with this man that doesn't satisfy me sexually? And I want your honest opinions.
Yes.
Oh, so I guess my question is it obviously something you like? Yes. Some things that you like and can relate to or...
His outside appearance, he's attractive. He doesn't have any children, nor do I. He wants children. He wants to be married, so do I. Like I said, he's a nurturer, teddy bear. He cuddles very well. Anytime I need him for a conversation, the conversation is deep. He listens. He gives great opinions. But that sexual part, to me, oversees all of that.
So have you tried other things like introducing maybe...
Hey, I'm glad you mentioned that. Recently, I found out that oysters is like an aphrodisiac to where it can keep you strong. You know what I'm talking about, right? So he doesn't like oysters, so he chooses not to go that route. So he's spoken to his doctor on some other option that he can do, and they suggested some type of pills, but that didn't work. So at this point, we don't have an option. And I don't like to bring it up too much to make him feel less of a man, because he's had that conversation with me to where, you know, not, like, this is embarrassing, I feel less of a man. And every time we do it, he look at me because he's done in seconds. And I'm looking at him like, in my mind, I'm like, this piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? But I can't voice my opinion because I never want to put nobody down.
Know, he's so sweet.
Super sweet. Super sweet. So, yes.
Okay, so my goal was to sit here and be quiet, but I feel like y'all just knocking on my door basically.
Like the pastor on Sunday, had the pastor ever preach on Sunday, and you'd be like, dang, he know I did that.
Sit here and just be quiet, but I listen. Have you tried a cock ring?
We did.
Okay.
And it worked for me because, okay, I'll be realistic with you guys.
Cock ring or just a regular cock ring?
Just the regular, and we slid it on.
Okay.
And it satisfied me that way because, honestly, I can't have an orgasm unless you go down on me anyway.
Okay.
But
You extra, Shay.
God, talk to God. I didn't do it. But the thing is, there's many ways to satisfy me without, you know.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I'm asking that is because based on the type of cock ring that you use, it can hold his erection.
It didn't hold his.
Well, it just depends on which kind.
She laughed.
So you can get some that are really flexible.
Maybe I can look into that. Maybe different kinds. Because we just use.
That's really thick.
Okay.
A thicker one is tighter, so it'll hold his erection a lot longer.
Okay.
And then you can get one that actually vibrates, which will help.
We had the one that vibrated. Okay.
What is your business,
I did.
ma'am? What business are you in, ma'am?
So I'm into the intimacy business. So yeah. So
No wonder you so educated.
That's what I'm like.
in
What business?
y'all are just knocking on my door. Trying to be quiet, but yes, when you're
Thank you for the information. I'm
She
going
has
to
a book
try
here
it.
tonight, Shay.
Do you have any of those thicker?
I
We will talk after, girlfriend.
Yes.
Well, I'm a herbalist,
Okay.
and we have something for that, for the male. We have it specific for that, and, for those erectile dysfunction. I can call the rep and tell her to bring me a pack, or from run to go get it. So you can try that, it's natural.
I would like her to
no
bring
side effects, but, it's a guy out in California that orders it, and he buys it in bulk.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
But he buys it in
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I'm into natural herbs. Everybody knows I'm Shay Fit. I'm into health and wellness. So anything that does with herbs and health, I am into trying anything at this point.
Awesome. Thank you for
I'm
that.
out of
Yes.
options.
So, I think all those options are great, but more importantly, Shay, having that conversation is tough.
I know.
And to be able to get to the other side with him,
Yeah.
you have to have it.
It's. I tried, and I noticed his whole facial. You know, when your facial expression can tell a lot.
I know.
And I noticed his facial expression kind of just went down and sad, and I felt really bad. And I'm like, it's okay, don't worry about it. I got your back. I'm still here. I ain't going nowhere. And it's almost put me in a position where I'm forced to be with you. And I can't say I'll cheat because he's not my man, but I will go with another option because I'm not satisfied.
But
You
I
understand?
think being able to tell him, like, I want more for us, this is why we have to have this conversation.
Sounds like he's such a good guy. Shay.
He's a great guy. He is. He's a great guy. But that's
a deal breaker.
That's a deal breaker for me because I don't want to live my life. What if we got married? So for years, I have to deal with the 1 minute man. No, that's not what I want. I'm sorry.
Yes. One more question.
My question, I think it had to do with, like you said, you don't want to be married to someone that is not satisfying you. So my question is more on, I guess, the conversation about you guys having other people involved in your space to where you could be satisfied.
I would never.
And you wouldn't.
I'm not that. I've never been with a woman. I've never had a threesome. I'm not interested in that.
No, she's
Oh,
just
girl,
saying.
please clarify because I was ready. I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do it. I don't do it.
It's reading like you have so many
Oh.
boxes checked off with him in this area. There's one box that he's not checking off.
Right.
Is that an understanding that could be, okay, honey, this box is being checked off, but I have it checked off by this person or by this thing, this particular thing, and that to be a part of y'all's lifestyle? Because if that's the only adjustment, people make adjustments because they have a job, so they move to where they have to live, you know, they make adjustments for their kids so that they can have a life that fulfills their life. So if this is a piece of the fulfillment, everything else is there, the intimacy, the cuddling, the mouthpiece is right, but the thing ain't working. And if somebody else got one that is, understand that you don't have nothing else but that. I'm just wondering if that's something that you guys are talking about. Like, is that a conversation?
It's almost like I'm kind of nervous to get so deep into the conversation with him because he's expressed how embarrassed he is all the time. So I'm like, I shut down when he does that.
You think he might see this show, Shay?
No, I'm hoping not. You know, let's change the subject.
One more question. Okay, one more. Yes.
I just want to say something really quickly. We have to be very careful with that. We live in a world where we don't have a lot of good men out here.
Yeah.
So it seems like we're dealing with a good man.
Yes.
And that is one aspect, unfortunately, that he actually has no control over. If he has a dysfunction, that wasn't something that he was like, hey, let me get that.
Yes.
Yeah. He asked for it. It was something that he's dealing with.
That's
when we come with our pros and our cons,
Yes.
and our good and bad. That's one of his bad, unfortunately. And my recommendation to you, versus kind of pushing him off, will be to try to figure out different ways that you guys can satisfy each other sexually, and then you can actually have the package that you made.
I mean, I do my part, girl. Hold on. I'm good.
Maybe you too good, Shay.
I am.
So that way you actually are, like, I would hate for you to miss out on you actually being in love and you being happy based upon the fact of, okay, well, he can't stay up long enough for you, especially when there's so many different things in this world that they've created to help you guys with that.
That's
Good.
true.
Great advice.
That's true. But
we have
do you
some packages.
think, this is a question, do you think, okay, because he's so far he comes across as a very stable, faithful individual. But are you faithful because of your situation and you're too embarrassed to go outside of me because you don't want to explain the situation to another female or go through the embarrassment all over again?
That's deep.
So now what if we fix that situation and you transition into the whole of the year?
So let me say this though.
That part.
And again, I'm gonna be quiet after this.
Okay.
I don't think that's what it is because you will be surprised, especially then in my industry, what a lot of women will deal with.
Really?
Like you don't want to deal with it, but I guarantee you, it's a lot of women that be like, okay, well every minute you go nuts, but I'll go ahead and I'll like that. I'll take that.
Okay.
And they'll be willing to deal with that.
Right.
You have some women that'll play that role and say, hey, I'll be faithful to you, and then they'll take them and then cheat. And they'll have the best of both worlds. So I highly doubt it's a thing if somebody else is not going to be willing to deal with them. I doubt that.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Good advice.
Very good
ladies.
advice.
Thank you.
And
Thank
get
you.
a couple packages at the end. She gonna go back home like, babe. Let's try this, okay? I went to Pontiac, Michigan, and I came back with a little bag. That's how we do it in Pontiac, y'all. We help each other.
That's funny.
So, our next topic. Body images. That's one thing I think black women deal with. I know, seriously, I have all of my life. And I'm trying to just get us to love us. Because before you could change things, you just have to love where you at and say, okay, I'm not happy with this, I'll change it, but we're so hard on ourselves, right? I always grew up with big hips and a butt. And you saw my pictures in the 3rd grade, you'd be like, what you feeding that girl? Always had this small waist, and I always hated my body. It wasn't until in my 40s that I really would start out. Everything I wear was like a long jacket, long coat, long. And my brother, he used to say, you just look bigger. What are you doing? I have people in the audience right now. When I really feeling myself, I'll wear a bodysuit or something. And I walk in a dining hall, she said, damn, I didn't know you was strapped like that, because I'm always wearing something big that's showing. Now, when I think I'm feeling good, girl, I put on something tight and walk in, and you be like, is that Mary? Right? But I think that if we start loving ourselves first, then we could deal with the other issues, because every last one of us have something that we don't like about ourselves. Don't we? Yeah. You look at one person and you say, I complain all the time. My sister be like, I wish I had your butt, didn't have my stomach. Somebody else, I wish I had the breast, didn't have this. So is there anyone in the audience that will be honest to say, is there something about your body that you just beat yourself up about? Yes, Lexis?
You already know that I am a very heavy-chested individual. I try to hide it and disguise it. And my significant other, he loves it, but I just don't like that certain things I can't do. They make me look bigger than what I am.
Yeah.
They're really heavy and they're very uncomfortable, but everybody keeps telling me people pay for them. And it's like, I hate that saying because it's like, you can pay for them, but I was blessed with them, and they're like a blessing and a curse at the same time. And so it really drives me to watch certain things. And then certain guys, especially older guys, they like, if I have like a revealing shirt on, like, they're like, eyes like right there.
You like, I'm up here?
I'm up here, and I think it's so rude to just stare at me because of my breasts. Your butt is different because your back is turned, but like it's up front, like I'm really looking at my boobs.
Anybody can relate to Lexi? Oh, yeah? Yes?
Well, I've been taught that my whole life. So I just think that my mother always told me, I think we as young women coming up, we don't buy proper undergarments, first of all. You have to buy the proper bra. Then it won't, if you buy the proper bra, or brassiere, whatever y'all call it, you won't look as big as you think you are. But we don't wear the proper undergarment to minimize a lot of this. You know what I mean? So I just think that makes a change.
Okay, Patricia then. Yes.
While we're talking about the undergarments, they also make them with the foam. We are really not supposed to be wearing a bra, for real.
Okay.
Because
all right.
The cancer, the stuff they put in that foam that you cover your cup up with,
yes,
it is causing cancer. So some padded bras and all, I'm so ready to throw it away.
Well, I have a few friends don't wear them. They don't wear them. Yes.
I was just thinking, that because of a lot of the traumas that we go through as black women and the secrets that we've been forced to keep, we weren't taught to love our bodies. We were taught to cover up our bodies. And because of molestation and those issues that come, we tend to hide. Now I've embraced my body.
Okay, that's what I love. Let's give her a clap for that. Yes, yes.
But we've got to change our whole viewpoint as sisters, encouraging sisters.
Yes.
So that we can know how to walk this walk as women, whether we're overweight, underweight,
Yes.
middleweight, whatever weight, as long as we embrace ourselves.
And it's about being healthy. Because you can be skinny fat. Have you guys ever heard of a skinny fat? I have cousins that weigh 120 pounds and they take a pill for everything. And they younger and they're in their 30s. So skinny don't mean healthy. Healthy is first, right? It don't mean healthy. We have a health specialist in the house. Yes.
Majority of the time, it's what we see. Magazines, what
Yes.
TV, what we grow up in. Right now in Pontiac, if you see all the little young ladies, they're wearing half to nothing. They're walking around naked.
Yeah.
There's no one saying, hey, can you cover up a little bit, love yourself a little more. Majority of the time, I'm in the field to add quality and longevity to life, letting that individual in front of me know there's ways to get around your, what you don't like about yourself.
Okay.
But first, respect yourself to respect the ways to do it.
Okay.
So
Thank
majority
you.
of the time, it's our own individual selves that sees the flaws in us. Because I am that one person that be like, I can be 120 pounds and
See
but
something.
my abs don't look right, the things, and especially being in this field, I have many flaws, and people will be like, I would love your flaws.
Yes.
And it's all ourselves because they told me, one lady came and told me, your twin can walk right in front of you. You'll go ahead and say, hello, how are you doing to them? But you wouldn't even recognize that person because we have our own ways of seeing ourselves.
We do.
Because you're beautiful the way you are, and to you have flaws. I'm beautiful to other people,
Yes.
and I'm like, I can't
Yes.
hide behind my glasses, so I have to put makeup on today.
Yep, you did.
So that's just in
Shay?
I want to add to that. To me, I think the way society is right now, we have to almost redefine what it means to respect yourself and understand the morals and values that we used to have back in the day and bring them back into our current day time. Why? Because we have music, television, TV shows, movies, blogs, social media, which changes your perspective on what used to be considered, having respect for your body. Right now, you have ladies walking around with no bra on and see-through tops. I've never been that individual to do that. If you go to my page, you won't see me in a thong, turning around, twerking. You won't see me taking photo shoots that way. I feel like part of my body should be private to whomever he is.
Yes.
And just out of respect for myself and how I was raised and how my mother moves, I don't think I'm not the type of person to follow the trend, the wave.
Right.
I set the trend. I create the wave.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So it's just different for me. I'm just never a follower at all. So if we start to train them in the way they should go at a young age, then we can redirect that perspective and put it on the path that it should be on. Honestly.
That's deep right there. That's deep. Yes, that's deep. So we're in with, we have, when we talk about obesity, being small, being large, we have a new Lizzo. Y'all know Lizzo? She have all the confidence in the world, don't she? Did y'all see that little clip? She went to the game with her thongs on. Did you see that? I was just asking, did anybody see it? Did y'all see it? Do you think that's being confidence or is that a little bit over extra? That's extra. Okay, we'll move on. All
but
right.
was it extra when Rihanna did it? When Rihanna had the
Did
complete,
she do it?
she had a whole outfit, see-through dress on. It was like a piece that she wore over her head. She had see-through, no bra, her boobs were out, and she had on the thong.
Did she?
She walked the red carpet that way. Honestly, my opinion, it's not appropriate for either, no matter what size you are.
Yes,
It's not appropriate for either.
Yes.
And that's just my opinion. I would never move that way. And to get attention, I can get attention by my intelligence, on who I am. I would never walk in that way. So they follow Rihanna.
And then so here comes us strong women that need to come back and be like, hey, listen, you're beautiful with clothes.
Yeah.
And reassure them that they are the queens that they are, straighten their crowns up and make sure that they're walking with their heads held high.
Yeah.
However they're walking.
She set the tone for a lot of people to follow that trend, and I just was not one of them. I would never, ever.
She made a point.
Yes. Not just that, we've got to, the attitude of our heart has to be right when we approach these girls. Because I don't want nobody coming telling me I'm dressed like a hoe and you talking like one.
Okay. Right.
The attitude of your heart got to be right when you come here.
Yes, good point. Yes.
How do you feel about women who feel like it's actually empowering to say, this is my body and whatever it's in, it looks beautiful and it's my choice? Because, you have Amber Rose, she promoted the slut walk and she gave people it was more so about, recognizing people being able to wear what they want and not be victims of sexual assault or get catcalled by men. It's like, I dress this way because I like to dress this way. And with that famous girl, she's like, because I'm grown. And he was like, how old are you? And she's like, grown. And it's like, that's literally their response to everything. So, how do you feel about those girls that are just, that in their mind is feminism, is standing up for what I can do because I have a right to do so?
You do have a right. You have a right to be whomever you want to be. But I have the same right, and I choose not to go in that direction. I don't want to be a part of the slut walk. Because I don't identify with what it represents. And I wouldn't go against what she's doing. People can identify with her clearly, that's why they go, and that's fine. But the direction and the focus that I'm on is just not that way. And it's okay to disagree. We can agree to disagree. That's fine. I love my body no matter what size it is, but I choose to be healthy. I choose to eat a certain way. I want to live a long, extended life. In order to do that, I stay away from meat. I'm sorry, I don't eat pork. I don't eat beef. I don't eat chicken. I don't eat a lot of different things. Sugar, salt, I stay away from that. But that's just something I choose to do because I see the difference in my body. Let's talk a little bit about the sickness that I had. It wasn't even a sickness. I had fibroids. Anybody aware of fibroids? For those of you that are not, fibroids are benign tumors which can grow on your uterus. I had no idea what they were. I never heard of them before. But when I was on the show filming last year, they noticed that I continued to go to the doctor because I was trying to figure out what was going on with my body. So they did an ultrasound on my stomach, and that's when they noticed, yep, you have fibroids. Many women, 80 to 90% of women will get fibroids, but it's very highly in African American women, but they couldn't tell me why. So I went and got a second opinion, which they also found fibroids, and I even went to a third opinion, they also found fibroids. So I had a vaginal ultrasound done, and they told me the size. It started off really, really small, like the size of a little peanut, and I had 4, and one grew to about, imagine 2 grapefruits. That's the size it was. So the symptoms that went along with that, my menstrual went from 7 days to 14 plus days. I had pelvic pain. I became extremely anemic. I was losing so much during my menstrual cycle, losing so much blood. I fainted and I bust my head. I woke up, my face was bloody because I bust my head. And I fell out because I lost so much blood, and my iron deficiency was just so low. I was so terrified to go to the doctor. I didn't know if it was cancer. I didn't know what it was, but I'm glad that God kind of put me in that position because I recognize the fact that I'm so relatable to so many different women who deal with this every day. And surgery is not the only option. The doctors told me I can have a myomectomy or a hysterectomy. I don't have kids. Why would I want a hysterectomy? Why would I want you to take a part of my womanhood, a part of who I am? And then, it would make me feel empty, as if something is missing. So I did go along with the surgery because my fibroids was so big, it was pressing against my bladder. I was using the restroom, I swear, 2 or 3 times an hour. I had so many different accidents, from missing the restroom, blood on a seat in the car, blood in the bed. I disconnected myself from my family. I stopped dating. You know what I mean? I just became enclosed. I became depressed. I stopped working out. And I said, I have to get out of this funk. I have to figure out what I need to do to get out of this. So I just faced my fear. That's how my mother raised me, to face my fear. It took a little longer than expected. But when I faced it, I started taking herbs from this company, The Healthy Hand. And the herbs minimized my menstrual from the 14 days. It went down to about 9 days. The clots, I had clots coming out bigger than the size of my palm. Imagine I'm in the shower. This is literally what happened. I'm in the shower and a clot just came out of me. I just started screaming. Then I shut up. I'm like, why are you screaming? Ain't nobody here. What are you screaming for? Let me calm down. So So I videotaped it. I sent it to my grandmother because we have several nurses in our family, my grandmother, auntie, cousin, several. And I sent that to them, and I said, what is this that came out of me? What is this? They said, most likely you have fibroids. That's when I decided to go to the doctor, and they told me, yes, you do. So the decision of the surgery was made because the herbs were working. The natural herbs were working. But the decision was made because I just couldn't take going to the bathroom so much. I couldn't sit in the movie theater without going at least 3 times and watching a movie. Imagine that. Nobody, I couldn't date anybody because I'm like, hi, I'm Bloody Mary. Nice to meet you.
I'll be right back.
More than half
I'll
the
be
month.
right back. I'll be right back.
Excuse me. So they're like, what's wrong with you? So before I continued to be embarrassed, I just disconnected myself. I dealt with my issues because at the time I thought I was everything before this happened. I was working on Shay Fit. I had lost over 60 pounds. My brand was doing good on my website. We had belly burners, resistant bands, meal plans. I was traveling everywhere. I was booked. I was on TV. I was lit.
Right.
And then this hit me, which I had to face reality. I'm no different than anybody else. I can get sick just like anybody else. So I didn't want to put it on Love and Hip Hop, and I was almost in a position where I was forced because they was like, okay, something going on with you. We're filming your reality. So what is going on? And when I explained I have fibroids and I have to have a surgery, they wanted to film it, and I said no about 10 times. And then finally my mother like, look, if you could help one individual, just one, that satisfies me. If you help one person, but you have a platform to help hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions, who knows? Look how many people will watch your story. And ever since I did that and it was on the show, I've gotten thousands of emails, DMs. I've read so many different stories. I've broken down in tears because they don't know what to do. The doctor's like, we'll just take out your whole uterus and that's it. No, that's not your only option. So my goal now is to be a voice, to speak up and speak out on fibroids, to give women an understanding on the perspective of what fibroids are and what the many options you have outside of hysterectomy and myomectomy.
That is awesome.
That's my story.
Yes. And it reminds me, the show is called SOS Share Our Stories, and that's exactly what it does.
Yeah.
By sharing. And if anyone is taping, you got some people with their camera out, do not drop anything on Facebook. That's your beautiful brother back there.
That's my brother back there.
Yeah.
Dr. Joe Johnson.
Dr. Joe Johnson. Okay, good. Okay, so now we're just going to go roll into just empowering each other. Sometimes we don't even know how. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's any wrong when you see a young lady, you just like, boy, you looking nice today? Do you guys ever do that?
I do.
Yeah, all the time. It's the smallest things. We just don't know what people are going through. Mm-hmm. And we just have to be nicer. Sometimes just that one compliment can just change a person's day. Mm-hmm. And I think we are definitely making change. Because I see more ladies speaking. I speak to everybody. Like, how do you come through the door at the same time and don't at least acknowledge and say, hello? Mm-hmm. Is it that her, ladies? Do you know what I'm saying? And the other thing I say, when I talk about empowering, even just looking out for each other, just period, just looking out for each other. Yeah. If you see me walking and I got something on my butt, tell me. You know what I'm saying? Something in my teeth say, Mary, you need to go to the bathroom. Don't sit and talk to me. Have you ever did that? You go to the bathroom, you're like, damn, did they see that? Right. And that's just wanted to talk about just changing our mindset, just uplifting and empowering each other, okay? So, health and wellness journey. We sort of talked about that a little bit, about being healthy and exercising. And most of the time, we will say, I don't have time to exercise. How many say every day, I'm going to start exercising and just can't make the time? Most of us, right? But we can make time for everything else. Mm-hmm. Shay, you back in the gym. How often do you work out?
Maybe 4 or 5 times a week. But, I alternate. Some days I might just do cardio. Some days I might just lift. It just depends. I just want to maintain what I have. I don't want to go back to what I was because, like I said, I was over 50 pounds bigger than what I am now.
What motivated you to say, let's get serious?
Ooh, this is a story. You know about this story. That's why she asked me this. I knew I had gained weight because I wasn't able to fit a lot of my clothes at one point, but I was hiding it very well. I don't know if you guys ever heard of body magic. So I had all the body magics. So I would put them on up under my clothes, try to snatch in my waist as small as I could. I would wear a lot of dark colors. But it was one day I went to the club and their blogs were there. I was walking the red carpet. And the next day it got out, congratulations, Shay Johnson's pregnant. I said, I fell out crying. I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. But that was my wake-up call. That same day, I called my trainer in Atlanta, Georgia. His name is Derek Taylor. And I just started crying to him. I didn't even know this man. You know, I just poured my heart. I was crying like, they said I was pregnant, you know. He said, come talk to me. So I went to talk to him, and he was like, come talk to me tomorrow. We didn't work out for the first 2 weeks. We just had conversations. And after that first week, I'm like, I'm tired of having conversations with you. I need to figure out what I need to do to lose weight. He said, if I don't get you mentally to figure out what's going on with you mentally, I can't transition your outside appearance. So he said, let me figure out what's going on with you mentally. And I'm like, I'm depressed. My career's not going anywhere. I don't have a man. I don't have a family. I don't have everything was just wrong. Anything you could think of was bad. He said, but everything you told me about, you can change. So you choose to sit and dwell in your situation, and you want somebody to feel sorry for you. But I won't feel sorry for you. So let me try to change your mindset. So when he started to explain to me that I can make a difference and I can make a change, and I'm like, wow, I can. We started working out. And the workouts kind of contribute towards the transition of who I was as a whole. I became a better person. It was like I was enlightened on life, period. I was understanding that I didn't have to sit in my sorrow. I didn't need to, I didn't need people to feel sorry for me. And when I started working out, I just started dropping like crazy. But the main reason why I started to lose weight is because I transitioned my eating habits. Yes. People think it's just because I'm in the gym working out the whole time. Yes, that's the icing on the cake, but we have to build the cake first. So I stopped eating sugar, no sodas, no pasta, no breads. And I love bread. Like I could take a whole loaf and just smush it, and get some little Kool-Aid. I was real hood with it. But I stopped eating all of that, and it was a mental decision that I had to make, and I just started losing weight. Wow. So that's when Shay J Fit was discovered, because he was like, so many people are watching you on social media, and I gained a whole new fan base from this, but I lost a lot of fans too, because people made fun of me, and they said, you're getting too skinny, you look like a stick, and I started to think for a second, like, am I supposed to satisfy the public? Or am I supposed to satisfy myself?
They always have something to say.
They always have something to say. I can never satisfy the public as a whole. I had to learn that I had to love who I am, want what I want, and if you're not riding this wave, you can go. Right. It's completely fine with me. But I'm happy with my decisions now.
Well, you look awesome.
I don't eat, but the reason I don't eat meat is because the way it's processed in the United States. They shoot the meat up with hormone shots to produce faster, because it is a business, and I understand business, and I respect businesses, but that doesn't mean I have to go behind and eat that. People going crazy over this Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Yes.
And I just can't understand for the life of me, what is the big deal? It's a piece of processed meat in between two pieces of bread, and you're going nuts about it. And I don't understand it. And it was more so the marketing behind it. Yes. Because when we see something, we just believe it immediately. So everybody's saying, it's good, it's good, it's good. It's not all that. I guarantee you it's not all that.
I haven't tried it yet. Have you guys tried it?
No. Have you seen the lines? Like down the street? It's crazy. It's crazy. But once something goes viral, people just tune in and they want to follow what everybody else is doing. So.
Because when I went to Florida, there's no talk about no Popeyes, no nothing. They're just worried about their daily and staying focused and staying in their lane. And majority of the time, those Popeyes, I just see them as,
it's crazy.
Yeah. It's like they're a bunch of zombies walking around. Popeyes. It's crazy. But I would just say, figure out and learn who you are, what you really want. Don't follow the trend. Don't follow the wave. Create your own wave. And you'll be fine. And understand the importance of being healthy and well. You understand the importance of that. You don't have to not eat meat, but if you do choose to eat meat, just make sure it's not processed, because you will have long-term side effects later on in life. What you do now can affect you later.
Yes. Well, when you talk about how it's a mental thing, it's totally mental.
Yeah.
I have not eaten meat in 3 years, but my mental isn't correct. So, and I know that. Okay. And I've learned that, throughout the years of learning all about the herbs. Yeah. But it's just like you have all the information and you don't utilize it for yourself, but you're trying to help this person and that person. And that's my biggest thing for me, which right now I'm getting my mental corrected.
Good for you.
As I'm talking to you today, but I'm still trying to do everything for everybody right now. And I know I have to start taking time out for me But that's my issue. It's not my food. My food intake I don't do. My co-partners, they always like, you just undernourished. You have to eat. I'm not a big eater. You would look at me and think I'm a big eater.
That's judging someone.
But I'm not a big eater.
See that?
I don't eat a lot. A lot of times I can go throughout the whole day, don't eat nothing at all. And then they be like, they get upset with me. I'm like, I ain't got time. I got to do this. So after I finish my course, this is where I'm ready to start working on me.
Keep going. And that's what I was saying. We put everybody before us. We have to stop. Yes.
That's one of the things that I tell my clients all the time. Is majority of the time is mind, body, and soul. It starts with the mind, and then you can work with the body. But the brain is so powerful that the stresses, the daily things, and majority of the fitness, which she was talking about, is 80% nutrition and 20% fitness. So majority of everything that you're doing is what you're eating, what you're in charge of. I tell them to give an example. It's 168 hours in a week. How many times do you actually go in the gym? You know, she said 4 or 5. That means she's 4 or 5 hours. Actually, that's your 20%, and the rest of it is your eating pattern.
Oh, that's what you said, Shay?
And you also have to understand everybody's metabolism is not the same.
Oh, yes.
You have to learn your body literally. Me and you, we can have the same walk of life for 5 years, eat the same exact thing, and my body may react to what I've been eating differently from you. So even though, you know, you just have to really, really just understand your body, and when you learn your body, you'll know what to do. Still stay away from, I would suggest, sugar. Don't do it. You know, sugar is just terrible for you. That's one of many ways you can get cancer. I don't know if you know that.
They said feast, yes.
Cancer. You can get
That's
cancer
the
from
number
that.
one feeder of cancer.
Yeah.
It's sugar.
It's the sugar,
Jesus.
you know.
Take away that and put some laughter into your life.
It would change.
It would start.
Well, guess what, guys? When you go over there and see the cupcakes, because I saw one of Shay's interviews, I call Caked Up. I say, can I have some sugar-free cupcakes?
Oh, okay.
So those are, I watched that interview, I was like, let me change this menu around. I called Sonia Riley's Cater, and I was like, look, we have to twist it so when you go over there, thanks to Shay, we eat some cupcakes with no sugar, but they said they good. We don't have no meat over there, so I said, you know, and sometimes you eat some of the things that you might go away with this saying, you know, this is not bad. So the cupcakes was about Caked Up, and Sonia Riley's Catering did other food. And I said, let's let the ladies try it. Because sometimes we say no before we try things.
Yeah.
Don't we? So today we're going to try this sugar-free stuff.
I know that's right. I know.
Yes, and yes.
How did you pick sugar? Because that's a strong issue.
They say sugar like cocaine.
Well, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I wasn't a big candy person, so I really didn't care for a lot of things. But my father, you can ask my brother, my father would put sugar on everything when we were younger. Macaroni and cheese, spaghetti. Like, we would just put sugar on everything. So that's, you know, I would use it when I would cook. So when I started to do my research on health, I would look and read, like, sugar causes cancer. I'm like, wait, what? I never knew that. Nobody told me that. My mother and father, they just didn't know any better, so I didn't blame them. But I am grown. I can Google like anybody else, and I can find out what's good and what's bad for me. And also understand your blood type plays a part in it too.
I thank God for your testimony.
Yes,
because you got a powerful message. Now, there's younger girls, I'm sure, that come up to you and ask your advice for acting in those venues that's available to you. So how would you encourage them to stay in their lane and be the kind of woman that you are?
I tell my story a lot. I used to just kind of keep quiet on the different negative things that happen in my life, but I noticed the more that I open up, the more fans come to me, the more my fan base actually grows because I'm relatable to the young girls, and I don't want them to grow to try to be like me. I want them to identify with what they want to be and grow to whatever your purpose is in life. So I give them more so that direction. My brothers and I, Dr. Joe back there and MJ, he's my baby brother, we have a nonprofit called the Johnson Takeover. And we go to different high schools and colleges, and we speak on a misconception of entertainment, which my baby brother, he's a Spanish singer, he sings bachata. Dr. Joe, he speaks on education, and I speak on the misconception on reality personalities. Those are all of our walks of life. I also have my sister back there. She's a doctor as well. Hi, Dr. Brandy back there. We have really deep conversations because on the outside looking in, people would think I have this perfect life. I just had a whole venting conversation with her yesterday. I'm lonely. I don't have a man. I want a baby. I'm tired, sister. What do I do? You know, I don't walk around just acting that way, but she's my comfort zone. So I opened up to her about that. And I want younger girls to know it's okay to release, open up, speak on what's going on, because you don't want to bottle all of that inside. And then one day you just lash out and go crazy and they think you need to be in an institution. No, let go, conversate, let it out. And it'll be okay, whatever your walk of life is. It's okay, you can get through it.
And I think my point is, because you hear so many rumors about the casting couch and all of that. And we want our young girls to miss that mark. So we want them to have the right type of advice, get the right team together, so that someone that's got integrity, that's going to lead them the right way instead of the wrong way.
But check this out. I could be that person that you're referring to, and I can lead them up as far as I can, and they can still go the wrong way. The only thing I can do is tell my story. They still have to make the final decision for themselves. You know, so I can only do so much, but I at least try to do my part. You know?
And that's all we can do.
Yeah.
Even with your kids.
Yeah.
Many of us have siblings where one is successful, one is in jail, one is on drugs, and the parents tried all they can do. You know, your parents say, I raised them the same, they ate the same food, but I just don't know. We only can do so much.
Yeah.
Yes. Any other questions? Y'all, we're not going to get Shay here much, so y'all better get it in. Yes.
Shay, with everything that you were going through as far as the fibroids, as far as depression, as far as the weight, did you see a counselor or a therapist?
Actually, my brother and sister, they're both counselors. So, I spoke with my sister about it. I have a very interesting family. I have doctors. They're like the Huxtables to me. Okay? They got, my two little nephews are back there, Joe and Carter. They're like the Huxtables. But I've had people around me, a very loving family, and people that I can talk to about it, which counseling is a very good option. It's just at the time I had counselors around me. I had people around me that went through it. Like I said, I didn't know what fibroids were until I knew I had it, so I started to ask questions, and I spoke to a lot of herbalist individuals. That's how I found out about the herbs. And I learned that herbs can not only help with fibroids, but help with many different sickness issues you have, because we create a lot of the sickness issues we have in our lives, from the deodorants, the hairsprays, the makeups, the washing powders, the food we eat. All of that plays a part when you become sick with cancers, diabetes, high blood pressure, liver disease. So you have to learn what's good and what's not good for your body. I think the world is changing, though. A lot of people are going green, and there's a lot of vegans, pescatarians. So the world is changing. It won't happen overnight. But counseling is definitely an option.
The world is definitely changing. Slowly, we get it together.
Yeah.
You know, when you read about your history, a lot of our eating behaviors, even when I think about the hammocks and parts of the chicken that we eat, you know, those were the leftover foods that the white man threw out the door.
That's how you started eating
created a meal out of it.
When they were slaves, they were figuring out a way to...
Absolutely. Did you know that? Yes.
The way they got around it was that they knew that the cloves, you know how the hams used to have the clove and the sugar that they put on there, you know how they glazed the ham?
Yes.
The cloves killed the parasite that was in the ham. Because the sugar brought them out. And the cloves killed them.
Really?
So that's how they got away. They did a lot of different type of prayers. And that's how they were able. But my grandma was able to eat this ham, and my grandma was still living. I said,
but you know what?
They do it different.
Back then, back then they didn't eat a lot of processed food.
Right.
You have to think about it. They were farm raised. They were grass fed.
Yes.
So you were eating totally different from how we're eating now.
that's true.
It's so true. Yes. All right. Any more questions before we wrap this awesome show with Miss Shay Johnson?
What's
Yes.
next for you in your journey and your mission, what you want to portray and what you want to give, next to the world, all these people that you say have supported you since Labor of Love? What would you say is next?
Well, My focus right now is definitely the healthy hand. As I stated before, I didn't know I would have fibroids and would be this individual that would be a spokesperson for fibroids to bring awareness towards what it is and to give women more options. So my goal is to help as many women as I can and to let them know that the hysterectomy and myomectomy are not your only options. And like I said, if I can just help one, that's fine, but I've helped hundreds, and pretty soon it will be thousands, you know. So that's self-gratifying for me to do that. Outside of that, Shay J Fit is still going strong. I will continue to maintain my health and my wellness, and I will speak on the importance of being healthy because it helps women. And if you want to live a long, extended life, you do want to live a long, extended life, right? So in order to do that, you have to change your eating habits. I'm sorry, there is no in between. Either you do it or you don't. And I know that my stories and my journey that I've been through will help many different women. So I'll continue to speak out on my situation and help as many as I can. Oh.
Yes, can we give Shay a round of applause? Yes. Yes. Did you enjoy this today? Yes. You think we might can get her back maybe next year? We do this yearly and we grow. Yeah. Remember, the SOS show is only 90 days old. All right. Yeah. I've been asked the last couple of days, how long you been doing this? I was like, girl, I just started this. But you know, it's something like when you do something you love and God put it on you, it's not about how long you've been doing it. When he give you something, because doors been opening up, and I'm like, how did I do that? Yeah. God is something else, and our sharing stories really, really change lives, right? Yes. So this is an awesome show, and we hope we can get her back downtown Pontiac. Oh, yeah. And just guess what? From this show, I was telling Shay earlier, I really want to create a circle. Let's do this, ladies, and let's change our mindset, the way we do everything.
Make sure you follow me on Instagram. I am Shay Johnson, and the Healthy
Get your phones out.
The Healthy Hand also has its own Instagram. Is The Healthy Hand. That's the name of the Instagram, at The Healthy Hand _. Or you can go to the website, thehealthyhand.com, which consists of tea and pills to help you with fibroids. You might not have fibroids, but I'm sure you know somebody that does. Even though you haven't spoke out on it, you should start speaking more about fibroids because women need help. And we were just raised to be more closed about it, especially when it comes to our menstrual cycle. You know, wrap your napkins up, don't speak on it. We don't want we don't want the men to know you're in your menstrual. It's time we're done with that. Speak out on it. It's no embarrassment about that. Outside of the website, shayjfit.com is my other website. I want to thank my brother, Dr. Joe Johnson, for hooking me up with Mary here. Thank you for having me. And thank my sister, Brandy. She's here somewhere. Brandy, thank you for coming. I love you. And my nephews, he won't come over here. Joe,
I want to thank you guys for supporting everything we do. But we will not end this show without saying, pay attention, ladies, to your environment. This is gone crazy with this.
I want you to meet my nephew. This is my nephew right here.
Let's bring the
I don't know why the other one. Say hi, Joe. Hi. See?
How you doing? Good.
Did you like what we were talking about? Did you know what we were talking about? No. Okay.
He has a personality too, for real.
Yeah.
Yes. Ladies, keep your eyes open. Pay attention to each other. You know, when you're going to your phones, get off the cell phones because this is really serious what's happening to us. Over 64,000 women of color that have been abducted. Please pay attention. Keep your eyes off for each other and these babies and these kids. They're picking up the kids, they're picking up the ladies, and we just have to be mindful when we out here. And I want to thank everybody for coming.
Absolutely.
Y'all think y'all can do my little jingle like y'all did before? Come on, Ray Ray.
I know